Hello and welcome from the Polytechnic studio in Poznań. Today we're going to do a hip opening session for pole dancers, but also for everyone else. It's just I asked one of the owners of the studio what is the stretching thing I could help maybe with. What does she see is an issue for pole dancers oftentimes, and she told me opening hips like it would be nice if people would work on that a bit more. So I prepared this session. But yeah, everyone else who wants to open their hips is welcome to join. And we going to start standing and do five um, circles with the hip one side, then five the other side, then change legs. While you're doing that, I'll, I'm gonna tell you what do we need for the session. We need the mat, of course, and you can see yoga blocks and also some knee pads. Or if you don't have knee pads, you can just use your mat instead. And we need a corner of a room, but you'll see. And yes, something like a sofa or a not too high bed, or I'm using my feet up stool while at home. So something you see those mattresses in the back, something of that height and kind of soft. All right, when we're done with that, let's just do a forward fold, whatever way you like, carefully, and we're gonna stretch our legs a little bit in a downward dog. So just walk your dog, bend the knees, one knee, the other one. Press your chest down, go on your toes, try to press your heels into the floor. Just, yeah, whatever feels, like, start feeling your body uh, and start breathing. If you didn't focus on that yet, do it for as long as it feels good for you, like as long as necessary. And then let's go down and do the frog. So we go down on the knees. Are as wide as possible. Um, Feet are wherever it's comfortable for you. It's just a warm up. And let's go back and forth with the hips. So when we go back, our hips are like in front of the line of the knees. And when we go back, the hips are behind the line of the knees. Um, Keep your weight uh, mostly in your hips. So when you go up on your hands, like I am in here, then you should feel more weight in your hips. But if it's a little bit too much for starters for you, you can go on your forearms. So bend your elbows and just go lower. I didn't show that version. I really love my frogs, and I like to put some weight in that. Okay, and let's do a few hip rotations. So just go with your foot up and change. Try not to move your torso too much. So, for example, if you feel like you need to start walking your hands towards the other side, that may be an indicator that yeah, you are going a little bit too far. And so yeah, just try to put those hips as low as possible, but to the point where you feel the stretch in the hip. Okay, after that we're going into a lunge with the back leg on the floor. So the foot is on the floor, the foot is relaxed, and the front leg is more or less in line with our hands, and we go left and right with the hips. Your hips are as low as possible. Mm, and that's it. Yes. So just go left and right. If you're okay, okay. Then we go up on the toes and straight back leg, like super squeezed, and we go back and forth with the leg and the hips. Pay attention to this back leg that your knee is not bending. It may want to do that, and do it 10 times. Everything we do for 10 times as usual. Except for this, like I do it for 3 times because we are going back on the toes of the back leg and we go up and down with the hips. And here pay even more attention to the back leg not bending because it will want to do that. So yes, 10 times everything coordinate with your breath the all the basic things. And after 10 times, we are going to bend the back knee and grab the foot with an opposite hand. But if it's too difficult, you can grab it with the same hand, like the same. So if it's my left leg that's bent, um, I could also use my left hand. That's an easier version, but it's as effective. So do whatever feels better for you, and press that back leg. You can also squeeze your hamstrings if you know how to do that. uh, if you already feel the stretch, just do the stretch passively. And now we'll go on to the other side. So let's start with the back leg down on the floor, hips low, and swinging the hips left and right for 10 times. um, Yeah, if your front foot is wiggling too much, you can put it a little bit more to the side, like outside, so it's not too unstable. I think this part is pretty easy. And after 10 times, okay, it's not 10 times yet. Okay, now we're gonna go on the toes of the back leg, squeeze that back leg, uh, and go back and forth with your hips, paying attention to the knee that of the back leg, that it so it's not bending. um yeah, 10 times. Breathe. And then 3 times left and right, just to get a tiny break before we are going back on the toes of the back leg. Yep. And now once again, squeeze that leg and go up and down with your hips. Pay attention to the back leg, to the knee. 10 times. Coordinate it with your breath. And quad stretch. So grab that back foot. Try to bring it as close as possible to your butt. And and if you can, try and squeeze your hamstring. But if you don't feel that, it's okay. Just stretch the quad. Okay, after that, we're gonna need that wall, and that's something, the elevation. Um, yeah, I would say a bed or a sofa is usually a good idea. And bring your mat or your knee pads. I'm gonna use my mat. So first we go by the wall. Okay, so we need the wall because my mattresses are flat. I'm gonna use them. Just go on one knee and then the other leg extended, and try to put your heel as close as possible to the wall, and squeeze that leg, and then lean forward, and that's it. So just keep squeezing, and now close your hips. Close your hips, absolutely. So yeah, close hips, leg extended, heel as close as possible to the wall, lean forward. If your back is bent, like rounded, it's okay. If you want, you can play with back straight, 10 breaths, and switch side. So closed hips, leg extended, heel as close as possible to the wall, and then lean forward and take 10 deep breaths. One more thing, this session is divided into two parts. So this is the part one, which is like simpler versions of the exercises. And if they are already demanding for you, you may want to repeat it when we are going into the part two, because that will be when we'll do a little bit more um, advanced versions, but you're welcome to choose whatever you want. Okay, after that, 10 breaths, we are going to put our leg on the elevation, straighten it so knee is squeezed, then the foot is pointed, hips are closed, and we are leaning forward. And once again, taking 10 deep breaths. After them, we are going to change sides. So here we just focus on breathing, maybe our lower back, trying to make it a little bit more flat, but as long as you feel the back of your leg stretching, that's that's what we need. Just squeeze that quad of the front leg so the back can stretch better. And then switch sides. 10 deep breaths on the other side. So leg extended, quad squeezed, foot pointed, hips closed, leaning forward. You can try playing with your lower back. If it's rounded, you can try and press it like your belly closer to your leg, but as long as you're feeling the back of your leg, it's all good. Right, let's drink something and then we'll go on the mat, do the cat cow exercise. So, knees under the hips, hands under the shoulders, and we'll start with the pelvis. So, we tuck the pelvis, and then our whole back is going to round, and then our head will go down, and we breathe out during that. And then we arch the lower back, and then the whole back, the spine is going down, and the head is going up as we breathe in, and we repeat it 10 times. It's I guess it's everyone knows this exercise. Just let's just focus on starting with the pelvis. So we want to feel this movement. This, yeah, thinking about our pelvis tucking in and then arching, and then like the spine is like a wave that's started with the pelvis movement. Yeah, 10 times uh, with this thing. Do it in your own pace. Yeah, I'm saying 10 times. I think this one was easy to do 10 times. But if for the a little bit more demanding exercises, someone is like, oh, 10 is so much, like 10 breaths. Let's just do 8 then. Okay, next one, we go back in the frog and we are grabbing our back leg. We'll try to flex your foot a little bit, as much as possible, honestly, and put it in your elbow. And then just swing your hips back and forth. So you can grab that yoga block under your front hand so you can go a little bit more forward, um, or it's just easier to do the exercise. Do like 10 swings and then switch sides. Back leg in the elbow, flex the foot, and let's go back and forth with your hips a little bit, 10 times. Remember to breathe. Um, yeah. So soon, like there will be one more exercise, and after that, it will be the end of part one. So if you feel that these exercises are already um, doing like good for you, good enough, you can. Now we go in a straddle. We'll go in a straddle. First, just lean forward. So squeeze your legs, squeeze the quads, so the knees are as low as possible. Like you want them to touch the floor. Relax your feet, no flexed feet, and just lean forward. You can round your back if that's necessary, or you can go move your back flat. Up to you. Yeah, I like to do a little swings left and right. Keep squeezing those legs, making sure that my butt is on the floor. Take 10 deep breaths and then go on top of one leg. And yeah, here pay attention that both of your butt cheeks are down on the floor and both of your legs are squeezed, are straight, and no pulling the foot, and also no pulsing on top of that leg. We are just laying on top of it. And then after 10 breaths, let's go to the other side, the same thing. Just, yeah, remember about keeping it all on the floor and breathing. Yes. So that's gonna be it. If you want, after this exercise, you can go back and start over, maybe from the downward dog. But if you feel you want some more, let's uh, let's go and do some more exercises, like different ones. Yeah, take a short break for, I don't know, drinking. Yeah, drink water, and we are back with, we need to, the first exercise now will be with our leg against the wall. So remember the wall, the elevation then. So starting when our heel is as close as possible to the wall, and so now we'll be opening and closing our hips. So lean forward, squeeze that leg, that front leg a lot, and then open and close your hips. So as you open, you breathe in, and as you breathe out, you try and close the hips. This will be even more unpleasant than the first version where we were just holding it and breathing. Now we are trying to close it as much as possible. Um, yeah, 10 times, and then change legs. So heel as close as possible. Quad is squeezed, and we lean forward, and then we go open as we breathe in, close as we breathe out. Do it in your own pace, 10 times. And when you will be ready, we will go and do the second part when the front leg is on the elevation pointed. Yeah. Right. So that was demanding. Let's go now with the front leg up on your sofa, bed, something. Squeeze that leg once again, point the toes this time, and as you breathe in, you open, breathe out, close. And do it 10 times on each leg. Keep closing those hips as much as possible. Remember about the knee being straight. Yep. And switch sides. Legs straight, open, close hips. And the same as before, if your back is rounded, don't worry about it. But if you can, uh, try to make it a little bit more flat. And once we're done with 10, and once we're done with this one, we'll go back in the frog with one foot in the elbow. But this time, that back leg that's in the elbow, we put a yoga block under it. So yeah, put something under both knees, just the lower knee. It's better if it's a knee pad or your yoga mat. And yeah, hold it for 10 breaths. And then switch sides. Try to flex the foot. Yeah, it's helpful when you have a yoga block also in front of you. So you can put a little bit more weight to the front. 10 deep breaths on one side, and then we'll switch sides. Also pay attention to your torso, that it's not leaning forward too much. That's why the block in front is helpful. So you can push away a little bit. Yep. And grab that back leg in, put it in the elbow, flex the foot, and go up with your torso. Keep breathing. Also, because it's a resting pose, the next one will be once again a little bit more demanding, especially on the backs of the legs. So, enjoy this one. Right. So, now we still need those yoga blocks, but we'll go up with legs straight, and we'll put yoga blocks under our hands that are like under our shoulders, and we squeeze those legs. They are more or less hips wide apart. You can keep the yoga blocks higher than I am doing it here. It should be easier. And we'll be tucking and arching the lower back. So the pelvis movement again. Here our knees will want to bend, but we don't let them. You don't have to move your whole back and the head. If the only the pelvis movement is enough for you, just go for it. But try to move your pelvis, even if it's just a little, a tiny bit, a tiny move. Go for it and do it 10 times. But yeah, if it's too difficult to do it 10 times, do it 8. And after that, we'll go on one leg and do exactly the same thing with our lower back. So the pelvis is tucking, then arching 10 times, 10 times on one leg, and then we switch legs. So that will be it for this exercise. We have some more. Yeah. And remember that the bottom leg, the one that's on the floor, put effort into squeezing it so the knee is not bending. And go arch, tuck 10 times. And once we'll be done with it, we'll need those knee pads, and we'll need a wall, and we'll need our yoga blocks. So those three props. And we go and put our knee pad as close as possible to the wall, and we keep yoga blocks on both sides, like in under our left and right hand. For the first part, we don't need to actually hold those yoga blocks, just keep them there. Yeah. So put one knee on this knee pad that's as close as possible to the wall. We put our foot on the wall, and the other leg is going up. So we are in a sort of a lunge, and we push up from the front leg and try and put your back, upper back, on the wall. If this is already easy for you, you can put a yoga block under your back foot, like between the foot and the wall. So hold this one for 10 breaths, as always. or as usual. Um, yeah, so trying to put your shoulders on the wall. And after that, we'll just go down with our hips. So its front leg is still bent. And now you can use those yoga blocks to push yourself up so your body is not going too much to the front. Take 10 breaths. And now you can put something under your front leg because we'll be sliding it down. So well, the back leg stays as it is. We extend the front leg and we try to go down on the floor. So it's sort of a split, and we need those yoga blocks to push ourselves up so our torso is not too close to the front leg. Of course, if you cannot go all the way down, that's totally fine. Just try to go as low as possible, keep squeezing that front leg, take 10 deep breaths, and then switch sides. We'll do the same sequence as on this side. So, first, just knee close to the wall, foot is on the wall. You can put a yoga block between the wall and your foot if you can already put the shoulders on the wall in the first version. uh, and yeah, just push yourself up, take 10 deep breaths, hold it, and after 10 breaths we'll go down with the hips, so you can move your front leg a little bit, so you can go lower with your hips. But remember to push up your torso. You can use the yoga blocks, you can also push away from your front leg. That's up to you. Once again, 10 deep breaths. Prepare, because we'll be sliding that front leg into a split. So, yeah, extend the knee of the front leg. Hips are as low as possible and just stay wherever it's good for you with your front leg being straight. Same as before, don't flex your front foot. Push away from those yoga blocks so your torso is straight. And you can also think about making sure that your body is facing forward so it's not opening, that your chest is not opening to the side of the back leg. This will go for all splits we are doing today. And now we are actually going into front splits. Obviously, if you don't have your front splits, just go as slow as possible. We need those yoga blocks, and we need something, at least for under our back knee. I always like to have it because, yeah, protect the knees. So I'll show you two ways of entering front splits. If you know how to go into your front split, just go into it, take 10 deep breaths, then switch sides. For everyone who wants to check out, let's go. So first version, we are sliding down our front leg, as you can see. Hold those yoga blocks so your body is not laying down. Um, and then the other version is when we are first sliding our back leg down, and then when we are as low as we can, we extend the front leg. And here we'll be sitting for 10 breaths. So keep squeezing both legs, especially the front leg. We want to have the back of our knee down on the floor. Push away from your yoga blocks so your torso is not going down. And remember that you want your chest to be straight, like your nipples looking forward. But yeah, it comes with time, with practice. So after 10 breaths, on one side we go to the other side. I'm gonna show both versions again. So first one assumes that your front leg is sliding first and we go down with the hips. And then the second option is that we are sliding back the back leg. So when I started doing splits, I actually liked the second version better. Now it kinda doesn't matter, but yeah, I remember that I was doing it. It was just easier for me to push away from the to, to push away the back leg, to slide the knee as low as like as far away as possible. So 10 breaths, and we'll finally need the corner of our room after that. So no, you don't need your mat. What you need is your knee pads. But if you don't have your knee pads, then use your yoga mat. Just maybe roll it or like fold it in half. So you want to put the knee pads in the corner, and then you will put your knee in the corner. Uh, and we'll go into a split from here. So yeah, the back knee is bent and the front leg is gonna extend. So hold those blocks because your body will want to go forward, and we don't want that. We want to slide down, but keep our torso straight up and looking forward, right? So also use the blocks to position your upper body so it's not opening too much the way the back leg is. And yeah, if you going down completely down with your hips, it's not the easiest thing in this one. So don't worry if you're not there yet. Take 10 deep breaths and switch sides. So once again, now the other leg, the knee is going in the corner, foot is up in the corner as well, and the front foot, we are extending it, sliding down into a split, and we are pushing away from our yoga blocks. Keep squeezing the front leg, keep breathing, and yeah, after that, we'll just go into regular splits for 10 breaths once again, and then we'll just calm down, cool down. Yeah. Uh, right. So once we are done with this one, yeah, get something to drink. It was those splits with back leg bend. They are, for me, they are really nice for my lower back. I love like the tension release in them, but they are also not easy. So now we just go whatever way you like into a split. Make sure that your torso is not opening too much. Squeeze the front leg, no flex feet. Mm, yeah. Then switch sides. Yeah. Now I guess it's easier for me to slide my front leg first. Uh, but I guess when I'm doing the over splits and my front leg is on yoga blocks, like then it's still easier to move my back leg first. So maybe it's good to try both versions and practice them a little, you know. So now that would be it. If you want to keep doing your splits, go for it. If you if you're done, we'll go and sit into this. I forgot what's the name, like sitting cow, probably. So just bend both of your knees to the sides and one leg is on top of the other, and we lean forward with our body, taking 10 deep breaths. Then we'll switch sides. I hope you liked the session. I hope that your splits get lower, like from the first attempt to the other one, and or maybe like since you tried them before. Um, yeah, like I said, I also like doing my front split exercises because they release my lower back issue tension. So actually, middle splits do that as well. So yep, I would just say stretching is great for your back. So 10 deep breaths here, and then you're free. Unless you want to repeat something, try something again, then yeah, go for it, enjoy. But I'm gonna say thank you and goodbye.